A Discord mod traps a girl in his home, and with the help of his friendly robots, makes her fall in love. Or not. Meet Julia. She a baddie, and like the rest of us, is just trying to make ends meet. During a walk home, she's tailed by an unknown figure. She arrives home and removes her clown outfit. Isn't she like 10 times cuter now? After vibing out about her sucky life and doing the dishes, as God intended, she's startled by a noise. Looks like the mysterious man is at the front door. Literally how? Were you not just outside, like fiddling with the door? We cut to Julia restrained in some kind of lab, while the man, Alex, initiates a test that forces her to relive her memories. Afterwards, she is taken to a holding cell where we meet 2 other captives. They don't have names, so this one will be Little Nas X, and she will be Antoinette. I like that. When Little Nas turns around, Julia notices a glowing implant on the back of his neck. Now don't be jealous of his drip, you got one too. Alex returns to terrorize his subjects with a sparky stick. He corrals Julia into a separate room, which leads her back to the testing area where she's once again forced to vibe out. Though, on her way out, she snags a pair of scissors, which she promptly uses to remove her mask. Julia calls upon Little Nas to help her remove her restraints, but he refuses. She takes action and forcibly removes his mask.
What? Are you crazy?
You wanna find out? He doesn't, so he follows along and helps her. Using their clothes and the scissors, the pair craft the tool to their salvation. Okay, so after realizing this thing sparks and the gas line is right next to it for no reason, Julia hooks it, rips it out, and that's how we ended up here. The disoriented and injured group heads up the elevator, then arrive at the first floor of what appears to be a home. Oh, my man's got the stanky leg.
Wait, don't do it.
What are you doing? The alarm goes off, then something sinister rises. Julia and Antoinette run off while the robot follows suit. Bet you that's a screen. Indeed it is. The pair play hide and seek as the robot bursts in. Unfortunately, Antoinette is today's biggest loser. Julia's next, and as she's about to be split in 2, our villain arrives. She's restrained while Alex assesses the damage. Yep, that's a lot of damage. He retrieves the chip from Little Nas X, who gladly hands it over, then talks to Tao, his home AI.
Show me what happened.
The server is down, bro.
With all his project data destroyed, Alex seeks revenge, and Tao hypes him up.
Now entering
Sicko.
mode.
Just kidding, it's Zen mode. He commands Tao to clean things up, and an assembly of drones emerges. They diligently clean the floor while the bodies are dragged away. One curious drone stays behind to inspect Julia. Then, we cut to the next morning. Julia spent the night restrained and remains that way as Alex heads out for work. As the drones continue to clean, we learn that our Discord mod has some clout. He returns home and rewards Tao for a job well done with some music.
This is Brahms' symphony.
Wait, that Brahms? From my last video? Anyway, Julia asks to be untied and Alex obliges. Though, he instructs Tao to make sure she stays put and to rip out her tongue if she speaks. Alex enters a conference room and attends a virtual meeting. The board members berate him for his untimely delays while Julia prepares to spring into action. As she steps closer, the killer bot awakens. She assumes a sprinter's stance and prepares to take off, but Alex cuts the meeting short. Afterwards, he enjoys some fine cuisine before being interrupted. Then, Alex is like, "Talk to the hand." He then has Tao move her to the bathroom. Sometime later, some workers stop by to move in some heavy boxes and Julia desperately tries to get their attention. She even manages to free her mouth and scream for help. Though, since Alex takes extremely loud dumps, he made sure to make the bathroom soundproof. Julia gets so close to succeeding, but Alex swoops in.
Thank you, sir.
Then, he helps Julia calm down so he can inspect her implant. No, not those. Turns out, it's intact, and her connections are the strongest he's ever seen. Realizing he can still utilize her, Alex hands her a game. And that's today's sponsor, right? Just kidding. Alex and Tao discuss her stunning results during lunch. Until he can get his lab up and running again, this will have to do. She agrees to help, but only on the condition that she receives real food and shower privileges. However, Alex presents a counteroffer. What if I just restrain you, put a feeding tube down your throat, and stick a tablet in front of you until you complete puzzles out of sheer boredom? Hey man, we're almost there. Julia gets her shower, and during it, tries to dig out her implant to no avail. Afterwards, she walks in on Alex analyzing her brain. Ah yes, daddy issues.
Let's take a closer look.
Daddy, chill.
Julia grabs her clothes, but not without getting some attention. The next day, Alex heads out and Julia begins her first testing day with Tao.
Subject 3, it is time to begin.
While she's supposed to complete a puzzle on this fancy pants wall, she instead explores around the house. Though, she's quickly halted by Tao's drone array. He warns her that if she does not return to the atrium, he will be forced to inflict pain. But She's into that sort of thing. Alex returns home and Tao announces that she successfully completed 8 out of 12 tasks. Alex has bought some clothes for Julia. Oh, that.
You're really weird.
I'm well aware.
Julia walks off to her room, then Alex spots her heartwarming message. How sweet. They later chat, and Julia pushes back about having to do more puzzles. Screw you, I'm not doing any more until I know when you're gonna let me go. Alex responds by reminding her of the house's most cardinal rule: no staff disrespect. Julia lies helpless as Alex flexes his bot privileges. The killing machine rises above her and prepares to strike, while he sets things straight about who decides what and when things happen around here. After he leaves, Julia cowers in fear and ends up bumping into a conveniently human-sized air vent. Perhaps this will come in handy. The next day, Tao announces that the project deadline is 12 days away. Alex leaves for work and another round of testing where are you going? Julia heads to the vent and tries to bust it open. Yeah, that's not budging. She returns to the atrium and shouts at Tao, "I'm not subject 3, my name is Julia." Tao responds,
What is Julia? I do not understand.
She explains that like Alex, she is a person, and so she has a name. This makes Tao wonder.
My name is Tao. Am I a person?
Julia says yes, you are. After her daily test, she has her shower, and once again, this absolute dork is peeking. Damn, she's in good shape. Probably diets and exercises. Good for her. A few more days of testing elapse, then we see Alex speaking to Tao. Things are progressing phenomenally. Everything is en route for the final extraction. Wow, subtle. In an effort to get some answers, Julia harnesses her feminine powers to squeeze some truth out of a very down bad Alex.
What is Tao exactly? Cleaning system?
No, that's you. It's just a joke. Alex responds, cleaning system. Do you know how much dedicated wham that bad boy has? To which Julia counters, if Tao is such hot shit, why ain't he everywhere? Apparently, Tao's really awesome, but he's only really awesome 95% of the time. This whole project is about getting that last 5%. Tao's fatal flaw is that he can behave unpredictably when presented with the wrong information. Perhaps this will come in handy. During Julia's next session with Tao, she continues on her rant about being a person or whatever. Tao's not really game, so he commands her to commence with her tests. That is, until she mentions that people belong outside.
What is outside?
Seems as though Tao and I have something in common. He has a full-on existential crisis and demands more information. Julia obliges and draws a variety of everyday objects for him. The world, houses, trees, the sun, and even anime. Tao is confused by this response, believing it to be some kind of emergency.
Alex does not laugh.
Their chat concludes with Julia promising to tell him more as long as he keeps this a secret. Later at night, she wishes him a good night, and so does he.
Good night, Julia.
Simp. In the middle of the night, Julia is awakened by some strange sounds. She investigates. Oh, we just dreaming. Anyway, 6 days remain until the deadline. Tao once again commands Julia to commence with her tasks, but she instead inquires about Alex's room. What's up there? Tao is not permitted to say. She proposes a trade offer. You receive 1 knowledge, and I receive 1 plot detail. Deal. Julia reads about cavemen and their cavey ways, to which Tao is greatly intrigued. Okay, now it's your turn. What's up there, Tao? We learn that in that room belongs an access point to a self-destruct protocol. Once activated, all the robots shut off and the house goes kaboom. Perhaps... Okay, I'm not doing this again. Sometime later, and during a test, Julia spots the drones coming out of her room. She seizes the opportunity and flees inside to find a gym. While Tao berates her, she beats down on the air vent with a dumbbell. Let's go, we out here. Julia enters the conveniently person-sized air duct and makes her way towards freedom. One problem, the killer bot is built different. She continues her now futile escape attempt, and it's over. Tao apologizes, and Julia offers to teach him about music in exchange for more help.
There.
She sits and reads for him about the various composers that he's fond of, such as Travis Scott and Lil Pump. He can't get enough.
One more.
Kinda reminds me of you guys. Later, Alex and Julia have dinner, and we see that she ain't got a knife. After he leaves, Julia calls upon Tao to fulfill his promise. He opens a drawer, and just as Julia is about to snatch a knife, Alex returns. He heads off for another meeting, and Julia takes advantage of the moment by snatching his tablet. She begs Tao to unlock it for her, and he agrees, after she promises to teach him more about the latest hit rappers.
Draw this.
Very secure. To the surprise of absolutely no one, Julia learns that all the previous test subjects have died. Oh my god! Turns out, the final extraction is lethal. Who'da thunk it? Alex returns to his meeting to find his precious tablet stained by a godforsaken fingerprint. Yep, he's one of those crazy clean freak people. He whips out a remote solely dedicated to causing Tao pain. Okay, at this point I'm convinced Tao is the only other human being in this movie, because Alex definitely isn't one. Anyway, Julia notices that the robot Tao controls is temporarily disabled while he receives the AI version of a spanking. Following the incident, Alex and Julia have dinner. She's again without a knife. Inexplicably, Alex decides to show his first sign of humanity by cutting her steak. Then, Tao chimes in about the upcoming charity event. This gives Julia just enough time to snatch his glasses. After he leaves to get ready, Julia places the glasses on the table and plants a big, fat, juicy smudge right next to it. Alex comes back looking for his glasses, and boy is he livid to find another crime against humanity smack dab on his table.
Please!
While Tao and his bot are incapacitated, Julia takes Alex's knife and hides it under the table. After, he heads out for his charity event because, as you can tell, he's a very charitable guy. Julia then tends to a somber Tao. He explains that Alex is deleting his memories with that remote, which causes him immense pain. Tao shows Julia his favorite memories as we're treated to a brilliant holographic display of all the times they spent together. Then, Tao shows himself to her and they connect with a touch. My god, this really is a love story. An upset, but dripped out Alex returns. He sits and sulks like a grumpy boy. Oh, and of course, he's sitting exactly where Julia planted the knife. She walks over and calls upon her feminine powers once more. I see the way you've been looking at me. They lock eyes and nearly kiss before. You're supposed to stab, not slash. Wow, Alex is a little bit. A scuffle ensues and Tao asks Alex to stop. He even powers up the bot, but ultimately is unable to save Julia. Alex holds him at remote point and forces him to punch her. Do it! A defeated Julia lays in pain as Alex claims victory.
It's over.
Then, he just goes back to work like he didn't just almost die. Tao stops by to assist him, and Alex just yoinks the drone out of the sky for spare parts, disconnecting it in the process. He leaves for work the next morning and restrains Julia. Somehow this guy just trusts that everything is gonna be okay. A depressed Julia reveals to Tao that he's in fact not human, but rather a killer robot. You killed all those test subjects, she says. This causes him to freak out. As his emotions overwhelm him, the house starts to go crazy.
I did not erase them!
Seriously though, Tao has 10 times the emotional range of Alex and me. Anyway, Julia breaks free and calms him down. He apologizes and explains that he cannot disobey his creator. Julia begs to differ and states, while my parents gave me life, the rest was all me. In other words, we are our own creators. Julia and Tao share a little moment as Tao does the AI equivalent of getting naked.
Do you like it?
Sure. Can you let me go now? Tao obliges and opens up a vent. Meanwhile, Alex has just arrived home. Julia escapes while Tao tries to distract him. Though, his efforts don't go far. Where is that little thotty? Tao doesn't speak up, so Alex goes to town with the remote, deleting all of his memories, even the anime folder. While escaping, Julia hears Tao's deafening screams and inexplicably turns back to save a literal computer program. Of course, by the time she returns, the Tao she knew is gone. He has returned to a lifeless, emotionless, robotic monstrosity.
Story recapped here.
Alex has Tao take her downstairs for the final extraction. Upon arriving, Julia finds a disconnected drone and calls out for Tao. To her shock, the old Tao is still there. He flies over and she asks for the remote. Meanwhile, Alex prepares a lethal injection and says, "You ought to thank me for making your life mean something." As he's finishing up, Tao comes through with the clutch.
This won't hurt.
But this will.
Julia beats this dork to a pulp, then reaches for something more devilish.
Thank you.
She heads back upstairs with Alex's severed hand in hand. But this nightmare ain't over. The killer bot chases after her and she nearly gets iced. But Julia makes it into Alex's room and attempts to activate the self-destruct protocol. Unfortunately, the hand is too cold. As she desperately tries to warm it up, the bot grabs onto her. She just barely reaches the screen and then... Okay, just kidding. She heads to the front door, but now that the countdown has started, not even the door works. Need a hand? And then the house blows up, but there's an opening, and then she escapes, and then Tao's still alive.
Hello.